3 good main chutes for Orion.
Under 3 billowing parachutes, the Orion spacecraft wrapped up its journey to the moon and back.
Splashdown.
The re-entry in the Pacific off the coast of Mexico, the most precarious part of the voyage.
Orion, back on Earth.
And it all went according to plan.
This mission was just, flawless.
An electric result for the first of what will be several missions in the next generation of space exploration.
Right now, this tells us that this spacecraft has the outer bones and everything that it needs. So now we are going to go and finish outfitting it so that we can put humans on board on Artemis II.
This flight that looped the moon, launching 25 days ago, is part of Artemis, Apollo's successor program aimed at bringing astronauts back there.
Oh man, go slow.
It ended on the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 17 moon landing.
Okay, copy that, Jack.
The last time humans walked on its surface. But Artemis isn't just a U.S. program. There's international collaboration. While dummies were used this time, a Canadian will be one of 4 astronauts on board for Phase 2. Jeremy Hansen is in the running.
I do kind of think about what would that be like? What would I be feeling right now if I was sitting in that capsule? So it's very personal for me.
Thousands will gather in Florida to watch our ship get smaller and smaller.
Artemis marks a major turning point for NASA, redirecting its focus back to deep space.
Previously, it was about just getting there and getting back, but now it's about humanity moving out into the solar system.
Scientists say that will help them learn about Earth.
So we're missing like 500 million years of Earth's history at a really critical time when actually life was starting here on Earth. And so that record is preserved on the moon.
On the next flyby, astronauts could board a capsule much like this one as early as 2024, followed by the program's first lunar landing a few years after that. The hope is to establish a base there, a launching pad to eventually reach Mars and beyond. Lisa Shing, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, who better to talk about this with than Bob McDonald, the host of CBC Radio's Quirks and Quarks. And Bob, describe for us what's significant about today's landing.
Well, Ian, this kind of harkens back to the old Apollo days. It's a very different way of coming back from space than what we were used to. We're used to the old space shuttles that were airplanes. I mean, they had wings. They could fly. When they came down from space, they turned from spaceships into gliders, and they could steer them very, very precisely right down to a landing on a runway. Orion, here's my crude model of the Orion. It's just a capsule, and it just comes screaming down from the moon much faster than the space shuttles did. And this heat shield here that's on the bottom had to protect them from almost 3,000 degrees. So it became a flaming ball of fire, and then it skipped over the atmosphere twice. It skipped so that they could control the landing and make it pinpoint exactly where they wanted, and then it came down under parachute, and they got it right. So it's a different way of coming in, but it still works.
And so no persons aboard this time around. What's coming next?
Well, the next one, if Jeremy Hansen gets to go up, will do the same thing. It'll go to the moon, go around and come back, but they will not land on the surface. Orion can't do that. The next phase is when SpaceX, the private company, builds their even larger rocket called Starship. That's the one that will bring people down to the surface of the moon. They're also going to be building a space station around the moon called Gateway that Canada will be part of. We're going to build a Canadarm3 that will help build Gateway. And then they're going to put a habitat at the south pole of the moon where people will live, and they'll do mining for ice that they believe is just below the surface. So there's still a long way to go, Ian.
Space exploration described with the help of a little Tupperware. Classic Bob McDonald. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian.